Las Vegas Raiders fans, NFL draft nerds, welcome in to Rogue Football, where it's all draft all the time. Today we have got a 7-round Las Vegas Raiders mock draft on deck for you. Very excited to get into it. Look, the Raiders have had one hell of an interesting offseason. From a coaching standpoint, obviously bringing in a legend, Pete Carroll, and then bringing in his former quarterback, Geno Smith. I absolutely love that. The Raiders have been rudderless at quarterback for a long time, and they now have a legitimate top starting quarterback in this league. And I say top. To me, Geno Smith is somebody that can elevate your football team in the right situation. Will this be the right situation? It's an interesting question. I think you look at the offensive line infrastructure, you can feel very good in that regard. Obviously, Brock Bowers is a stud. One of the best offensive weapons in the game today. You also added Raheem Mostert late. I think you can feel pretty good about that. I think you look at the defensive front and you're excited about that. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz coming back. Hopefully some development from Tyree Wilson. Adding Leki Fotu. Linebackers, safeties, corners. Do we feel great about it? Not really. So there's still some work to be done with this roster. I think that's clear. You did add Eric Stokes. Landon Roberts, I think, was a good add. Devin White, is he really going to be somebody that you want in the starting lineup? It hasn't looked good as of late. Jeremy Chin, I think, was a very good addition, assuming they're going to be able to use him in kind of that pseudo safety linebacker role that he's been so good in. And overall, I think that they have a huge opportunity here with the 6th pick and with the rest of their draft picks, which they've got plenty of draft capital to get excited about. Geno Smith is such a stabilizing force for them and an elevator for them, in my opinion, at this point in his career. Like, he's around a top 10-ish quarterback, but they got to get him some more weapons. Brock Bowers is a fantastic weapon. I think Jacoby Myers is a very good football player, but they need more. They absolutely do. And again, they need help in the secondary in a big way as well. At running back, obviously Raheem Mostert has had difficulty staying healthy. If they can get a healthy season out of Raheem Mostert, or a mostly healthy season, you really don't have a need there. But that's a big, big if. So we're going to dive into it. Again, really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. And 6th pick overall, going over the PFF mock draft simulator. At 6, who is still on the board? So we have Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter coming off the board. That feels pretty chalky. That would not be super surprising. Now, the Patriots taking Mason Graham would be a little bit of a wild card, but overall, the 5 players that are off the board is probably the most commonly mocked, commonly talked about 5 players to come off the board, right? Your 2 quarterbacks, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and then Mason Graham. So this is a real predictively, like, I think there's a good chance that this could be kind of how it shakes out for the Las Vegas Raiders with the 6th pick. And look, I love Ashton Genty. He is the 3rd player on my board. Regardless of position, he's the 3rd player on my board. Tedero McMillan, slightly early for him, but not like crazy early. I love Tyler Warren, but obviously you don't need to go that direction after adding Brock Bowers. Jahdae Barron, to me, it's a little early for him. I would actually value Will Johnson ahead of him at cornerback at 6 overall, and corner is a big need. I mean, you look at corner, you look at safety, I think linebacker next to a Landon Roberts, and obviously Landon Roberts is about to be 31 years old. You look at, could you add another interior defensive lineman next to Christian Wilkins? Yeah. Could you add a right tackle? I mean, I was a big fan of Delmar Glaze, DJ Glaze coming out, but is he going to be that solidifying force at right tackle? I'm not sure. And then, of course, running back, receiver. There's needs. There's needs on this team. So I think this is a draft where the Raiders need to just get the best football players they can. I think they need a lot of them. I think a trade down would be incredibly enticing. Is that going to be an option on draft night? I'm not sure. I'm really not. Maybe a team gets excited about being able to land an Armand Membu or a Will Campbell and wants to trade up, something like that, or Tedero I don't know. But if we can negotiate a trade, hey, maybe with the team that used to be across the bay, no longer obviously with the Raiders being in Vegas, but could we trade down to 11, acquire some draft capital, get the 43rd pick? Could we get more than that? 43rd and 113, that gives you a lot of firepower in the first 4 rounds. Let's offer the trade, see what happens. Trade accepted. Is this realistic? I'm not sure. You never really know with trades, but I do think trading down would be good for the Raiders just because there's so much, regardless of what people tell you, there is a lot of quality talent, especially in the top 50, 70 picks of this draft. And Ashton Genty goes at 10 just before we get back on the board, but that's more than okay. You have Geno Smith. You need to get him more weapons. Are you going to prioritize really? I think you can go about it like prioritizing offense or prioritizing defense here. You can also try to address as many spots as you can. I think a non-negotiable has to be, though, like making sure you have enough weapons for Geno. Because if you're trading for Geno Smith without getting him the weapons he needs to really thrive, like, what are we doing here? I think Tedero McMillan would make sense at 11. I think Malachi Starks would be a great pick at 11. Will Johnson as well. I'm a big Luther Burden fan. I've got to stick with my board, honestly. And as much as I want to get Geno a weapon right here, I think I got to go Will Johnson because he's a prototypical NFL corner. He's going to come in. He's going to lock it down from day one. I think he would be really good in Patrick Graham's scheme. He has the versatility to be a zone defender at an extremely high level and the size, athletic profile to play man coverage. Folks are a little bit down on him after a injury-plagued final year, but you go watch the tape when this guy's healthy, and there's nobody better outside of maybe Travis Hunter, right? So Will Johnson at 11 for the Raiders, locking down that secondary a little bit. Now at 37, we've got 37, 43, 68, 108, 113. We've got a lot of nice picks here. We have kind of crossed corner off the board. You have some guy. I mean, you could go corner again, right? It's not like you have a great cornerback group, even with adding Will Johnson. But I think you now have enough to where you say we're going to obviously look in a different direction and try to find some value here. So I do think Jaden Higgins would be a great addition for Geno Smith. He's a guy that Geno loves to push the ball down the field. I think Jaden Higgins' explosiveness at 6'3", almost 6'4", 215 pounds, his ability to get downfield, come down with contested catches, separate vertically, and just like the hands, great hands, Velcro hands, does not drop the football. I'd be a big fan of that move, and complementing what you have in Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. I think that could be tremendous for them. And you look through the rest of this group at receiver, there's not very many guys like that. I mean, Jack Besh, a little bit more of a dirty work player. I don't think he's as long, explosive, talented of a route runner, nuanced of a route runner. I love Kyle Williams. Trey Harris, I don't think is as athletic or long as Jaden Higgins. I also don't think he's quite as good at the catch point. Yeah, I say we go Jaden Higgins here. Shore up that wide receiver room, and you feel pretty darn good about that now, that wide receiver group. Jaden Higgins, Jacoby Myers, obviously Brock Bowers, tight end as well. 43 overall. We've got a lot of options. I think Xavier Watts is a great option, again, for a team that could still use safety after adding Jeremy Chin, and I think they would complement each other very well. I love TJ Sanders. I know that, not a lot of folks are talking about right tackle for the Raiders, but it's still a big need. It absolutely is still a big need. I think like a Ozzy Trapilo could be an attractive option there a little bit later on. So we're going to hold off on that. Schlesinger on the board still. Had to be a hell of a linebacker addition. He is. He's always tough for me to pass on in this situation. He's so talented. He's a great, great coverage player. He's a great athlete. He's got the strength he needs to be a very good tackler and good run defender. I think the block decomposition is something you still want to continue to improve, but other than that, his game is so, so strong, especially for a former walk-on. I don't know how that guy was a walk-on, but he was. Looking at running back, I think is interesting here. Travion Henderson, man. I have him as a top 32 guy. I think his ability to pass protect, to catch passes out of the backfield, and obviously be a good runner as well is just so attractive. That would be a lot of fun in Vegas. And that'd be that, you have Brock, you have Jaden, you have Travion, a trio of young players that can really get it done at a high level for Geno Smith. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Turn it in the card. And let's see what we can do here. Can we still get Schlesinger? Nope. Demetrius Knight, I think that's a good consolation prize. I also like Chris Paul a lot. Chris Paul Jr. We've got 68, and then we have to wait till early day 3. So where can we go here? Wow, Josh Farmer, Jordan Phillips. I like those options. Alfred Collins and Vernon Broughton as well. I think CJ West probably is a third-round guy. Shamar Turner's got up and down tape, but pretty much everybody at Texas A&M did on that defensive front. Let's see what we got at safety. Kevin Winston Jr., that's a good value too. So is Andrew Makuba. Lathan Ransom, I think, might be a little too samey for to pair with Jeremy Chin. Ozzy Trapilo. Ooh, Charles Grant. Wow. That could be a hell of a pick. I think he's being massively undervalued because small school. I think he's going to be a good starting tackle in this league. That could be a low-key, really nice swing. And I know it's not going to be what gets people fired up, what gets people excited, right? But that could be the type of vegetables pick that really pays off. Let's do it. Actually, man, I like Anthony Belton and Cameron Williams too. I look at Marcus Bowe as an interior player at the next level. I think Savanea probably interior, but maybe could play right tackle for you. Wyatt Milam, I don't know what to do with because he can't play tackle, and he really struggled at guard at the Senior Bowl. So that one's a tough projection. We'll wait. We'll wait on that. Maybe. Well, let's continue revisiting these options here for us. I think Andrew Makuba would be a great pick here. We already went running back. Yeah, let's go with the most valuable spot that we can here. Again, it's going to be right tackle, Charles Grant. He's way too low on this board. Way too low. See what else we got here. Aeneas Peebles and Jamari Caldwell could not get more on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Jamari Caldwell, 340 pounds. Aeneas Peebles, 280 pounds. Deone Walker, not going to be on my board until like super late round swing. Just it's not adding up for him with his draft process. It's not been pretty. But Peebles would be kind of that penetrating guy. I think Jamari Caldwell would be really fun to pair with Christian Wilkins. That would allow Christian Wilkins to pin his ears back a little bit more, and Jamari Caldwell to just kind of be that gap eater, run stuffer, who also, when he needs to pin his ears back and you can get both guys going, he's got a little bit more quickness, fluidity than you would expect, and definitely some knockback power. Kyle Williams is such a value. He always is. I don't know why he's always available later than he should be. Jacob Parrish as well. Really good football player. But we already drafted corner. Like I said, I think you could use more at corner. The cupboard's not completely bare. You added Eric Stokes. You have Jacorian Bennett, some guys. But let's see. What do we got at safety? So, yeah, Jonas Sanker's a good football player. I think Billy Bowman is as well. I love Upton Stout. Can probably wait a little bit on Upton Stout and add him. I would like that a lot. And he can also spotlight at corner. I think now might be the time to strike on Jamari Caldwell. Yeah, let's do it. Simply put, guys that are 340 pounds are not supposed to move like that. Really impressive player. We haven't gotten a linebacker yet, but again, Landon Roberts, good football player. What can you get out of Devin White? I'm not sure. And you can also use Jeremy Chin as a pseudo linebacker too, so that's something to keep in mind. I just don't think I can keep passing on Kyle Williams, man. And can you use Kyle Williams, Jaden Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers all together? Yeah, you absolutely can. Kyle Williams is such a good player. 5'11", 190, very explosive, great hands, great yards after catch. Sign me up. All right. What do we got here? Still good receiver talent on the board. Torrey Horton, very underrated football player. Let's see. I think Upton Stout would be a good value here. I think Billy Bowman could be as well. I think kind of take your pick. Billy Bowman's got some great instincts and coverage, ability to jump routes. Let's go with Billy. Had an impressive Senior Bowl. You could add rotational edge. Colin Oliver, coming off an injury, but good football player. I think, Teddy Buchanan could be a good fit for them as well. A little late round swing at linebacker. Never hurt nobody. Yeah, I think that putting all your eggs in the Devin White basket's a little bit rich for me. So giving us some options to hedge the bet there. Ty Robinson, explosive. I don't know why he's always available so late. He's a very explosive, hardworking player. But yeah, this draft we're putting together I think is a lot of fun for these Las Vegas Raiders. Don't really need a backup quarterback. Carson Vincent, I think, is a nice late round swing for somebody. I like Jackson Slater a good bit. get a little bit of youth on the interior of the offensive line. Can always use more runners, but I do like Rocket Sanders and Montreal Johnson as kind of bigger guys who have some explosiveness. Let's go Ty Robinson. Too good to be on the board at this point, in my opinion. And one final pick for your Las Vegas Raiders. Who are we going to go with? Is there another corner that we feel like can maybe make the roster? Mac McWilliams. Oh, Jabbar Muhammad. Come on. Absolutely. Too good of a football player to leave on the board. Jabbar Muhammad, he's not big. He's an undersized guy, but he's gonna make it in the league. He's just such a good, fluid, sticky corner. So we started off and we end it with corners. Will Johnson at the top at 11 after a trade down, and then Jabbar Muhammad at the end there. Jaden Higgins, to me, such a good complement to what you have. So is Travion Henderson, Charles Grant. So it's a heavy offense in the first 4 picks. 3 of them are offense, but we do go get that cornerback to lock down the back end for you a little bit. And Will Johnson, Jamari Caldwell helps out that defensive front, and so does Ty Robinson. Kyle Williams, just too good to pass on. Billy Bowman, somebody who can potentially be a ball hawking type of safety back there for you. Teddy Buchanan, somebody who can maybe compete to get reps at linebacker. Jackson Slater, some young depth, guy who really stood out to me at the Senior Bowl. Ty Robinson, very explosive and kind of wired the right way. Lots of effort, maximum effort from Ty Robinson on the interior. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.